Hello there. Making news this hour. The Castries Constituencies Council has implemented a measure to help address the long-standing problem of uncontrolled vending on sidewalks of the William Peter Boulevard in Castries. Over the years, the number of vendors at this location has increased, sparking concern from business owners and pedestrians. A new vending system is now in place, limiting the number of days vendors can operate at the boulevard. While officials say it is for the greater good, some vendors are unhappy. Makiba Eiffel reports.
The new vending schedule for the William Peter Boulevard was put into place effective Monday, January 22nd. This came after discussion between the management of the Castries Constituencies Council and a vendors committee. Now, vendors are barred from selling goods in the William Peter Boulevard from Mondays to Wednesdays, but can do so from Thursdays through Saturdays. CCC Operations Manager Nikki Calderon explained that the schedule had been in place before COVID-19. He says the new schedule is meant to bring some level of control.
So lately we have seen overcrowding in terms of vending in the boulevard, and the business places operating within that area have had issue with it, understandably so. And so what we decided to do was to meet with the boulevard committee to find a solution. And what it is, we met in October and we decided that come January that we will allow persons to vend only on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and also during specific occasions, that is Valentine's Day, Independence Day, that persons will be able to vend during the course of the week. Also, we have extended Constitution Park to them, for example, from the 8th of February. The 13th, the 12th or the 13th, we have what we call a Lovers Village. So basically, it's a give and take. We understand the situation, but also we are trying to reach out to the vendors to say, hey, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is made unavailable, whereas Thursday, Friday, and Saturday we can accommodate.
The new schedule has not been welcomed by some vendors who say it is affecting their full-time business as well as their income. According to them, the time is wrong given the downturn in the local economy.
I'm not mad, I'm angry because it is unfair to us, because since we only depend on vending in the boulevard as an income to pay our bills and for our children, to maintain our children, vending like from Thursday to Saturday, it's not sufficient.
They didn't give anybody any notice. They just announced it, and they didn't give us time to think about have a meeting first and discuss it and stuff like that. I find that's unprofessional of them.
One vendor told our news desk on Wednesday he is adopting an approach of wait and see and will be monitoring the development closely. However, another popular city vendor has called for others to follow the rule, even though he was captured vending on a non-approved day.
Monday pour Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, loi yo passé nous doit aller et puis ça c'est petit c'est 22. Si on dit nous pas nous venir vendre là pour 3 jours, moi d'accord avec ça. Well, moi pas ça là j'ai ça. Avec ces police là même parler bon nous dit nous avec lui et moi tenir les news encore. Tout ça gouvernement fait, moi même d'accord et puis because yo même t'a fait nous manger, yo pas manger tout. That's all I have to say.
With the new schedule, the Castries Constituencies Council says allowance will be made for special occasions like Christmas to allow daily vending in the boulevard. From the GVD News Desk, I am Makiba Eiffel reporting.
On January 23, 2024, the PI Bridge was officially handed over to the government of St. Lucia after 10 years and several hurdles. The new bridge was completed under the World Bank-funded Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project to reduce St. Lucia's vulnerability to climate change and extreme weather hazards. The PI bridge was destroyed during the December 2013 Christmas Eve trough. More in this report.
The new PI bridge creates a permanent link from the southern quadrant to the rest of the island. Importantly, it connects the communities of Labrie, Choiseul, Saltybus, and Soufrière to the town of Beaufort. Its design tells the story of drummers, dancers, and singers who have contributed to the rich heritage of the community. The parliamentary representative for Choiseul Saltybus, Honorable Bradley Felix, highlighted how the bridge will improve the community.
Since the completion of the bridge, every time I pass over, I think what gives me the most satisfaction is that when we were having community consultations, the recommendations that were given by the residents were incorporated in the final design. Because PI is a community that's very rich in our African heritage. Because I remember 2 to 3 decades ago when I was a lot younger, coming to any activity in the community of PI, you would be captured by the addictive drumbeat of the seas, Kenna and Gibbs, and the sweet voice of Clifton, Dudu, Joseph, and dancers like Miss Angele and Etienne.
The bridge is a regular route for residents in the south of the island, and it was destroyed twice by natural disasters. A temporary single-lane Bailey Bridge was used as a bypass during the construction process of the new bridge. The newly constructed bridge is a 2-lane and climate-resistant and is designed to withstand extreme weather events. Felix Fernandez Shaw from the European Union spoke about the benefit their contribution will have on the population.
And we are really delighted to take part, rain permitting, in looking at the bridge, which I think has improved massively the lives of the community. And please continue counting on the European Union to be a partner for St. Lucia, as much as we like St. Lucia to be a partner for the European Union.
The new PI bridge also helps reduce commuting time. It is also expected to boost economic activity in the southern part of the island. The project was funded by the World Bank, European Union, and then by the local contractor Obi Sado Engineering. From the GVD News Desk, I am Tammy Frederick reporting.
In other news, the main opposition, United Workers' Party, is continuing to apply pressure on the government to recall and squash the Draft Tax Administration and Procedures Bill. The bill proposes, among other things, a 100% increase in penalties for unpaid taxes. It also grants the controller of the Inland Revenue Department authority to seize private and business assets for failure to pay taxes. The UWP hosted a press conference on Tuesday to discuss its objection to draft bill and other matters of national concern. Shakira Theodule reports.
To suggest that it was the United Workers' Party that is responsible for the current draft that is in circulation is erroneous.
The main opposition, United Workers' Party, wants the Prime Minister to take responsibility for his decisions and stop casting blame. On Friday, Prime Minister Philippe J. said he nor any member of his cabinet had seen the Draft Tax Refund and Procedures Bill, which is now in circulation and has gathered widespread debates. Firing back at a press conference on Tuesday, January 23rd, UWP PRO and former government minister Leonard Montoute called on Philippe J. to show leadership.
If you observe the date on the draft, it is clear that it was done in 2022, during which time the United Workers' Party had demitted office. And to suggest that the Prime Minister has not seen, or the Cabinet does not know of, or have not seen the provisions in that draft, again is misleading.
Leonard Montoute argues that proper consultation will allow citizens to gain a better understanding of what is being done and an opportunity to share their views.
Unlike the Prime Minister, we are not going to engage in the blame game. We ask that he desist from doing so because this is too important an issue for us to politicize it and make it partisan. We want the best tax legislation for St. Lucians, and we recognize and understand that if we, or when we become government, these are the same legislations that will be guided by and that will be implemented by our government for the people of St. Lucia. So again, there are some draconian provisions in the legislation, such as the high penalties for non-payment, such as the travel restrictions that are being proposed, and the forfeiture or seizure of property and the way that it is being proposed. We do not support those provisions, and we will be making our recommendations as to what we think is more just, more of a fair nature, and more palatable that St. Lucians can abide by. Because while we want to encourage St. Lucians to be compliant when it comes to payment of taxes, we know that sometimes, we know that often, it is because some of our citizens are not in a position to make the payments. That is why they don't. And you cannot compound their situation, but we want to have legislation that will work with them to make them become compliant and to conform to the requirements of the legislation.
The opposition United Workers' Party says it looks forward to an open and honest dialogue on the Tax Administration and Procedures Bill. It says a matter of such importance should not be rushed. From the GVD News Desk, I am Shakira Fiojo.
The Soufrière Marine Management Association, SMMA Inc., has issued an appeal to members of the Soufrière Yacht Service Association, locally known as Boat Boys, to cease and desist from making unauthorized preservation for yacht moorings. The SMMA Inc. says it is the only authorized entity that is responsible for the reservation of moorings and the collection of yacht fees. The charging and collection of fees for the use of moorings owned by SMMA Inc. is unlawful. According to a statement, the act of misinterpreting one's identity as a marine ranger to assign yachts to unauthorized moorings is also unlawful. The SMMA has urged offenders to discontinue the practice, warning it may affect the renewal of your license. Our attempts to get further details on the matter from the head of the SMMA, Mr. Harold Dalsall, went ignored. That's the news this hour. I am Tammy Frederick. Thanks for watching. See you next time.